Hi, welcome to Swift Fitness. I'm Leanne. For more information on Swift Fitness, go to swiftfitness.com.au or like us on Facebook. I'm going to run through a few pregnancy exercises. It's not a complete workout that I'm running through with this YouTube clip. What I'm basically doing is just pointing out some areas that do definitely need to be stretched and are very important to make sure you're including in your workout, and some areas that need to be strengthened because these areas will be weakening off during your pregnancy. So please make sure that if you are watching this that you've got guidance from a personal trainer or someone who specialises in pregnancy exercise in pregnancy, and make sure you've got a complete workout, because this isn't a complete one. It's just to go through some of those areas that you need to make sure you're including in your workout. Okay, let's get started. So one of the first areas, it's good just to, let's just warm up for a little bit. So really good to stay low impact obviously during your pregnancy. You don't want to be putting a whole lot of stress through all your joints since you're carrying extra weight than you would normally carry. And obviously all your joints are a little bit softer because of all the lovely chemicals running around your body when you are pregnant. So let's just walk it out. You'd probably walk it out for around about a minute just to make sure that you've got blood flowing through joints and make sure you're a bit warmed up, shall we say. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're just going to do a couple of stretches. So a really good one to do is a lunge, so going down, stretching through. If you've got a chair, you can do it with a chair, because obviously as your centre of gravity changes and you move forward, you may feel a bit unstable and lose some balance. I'm going to just turn this over to the side so you can see. So from here, you want to stretch forward. Really good one is on the opposite, the leg that's forward, take the opposite arm to that leg and stretch it up, and you'll feel it really, really good stretch into the front of the leg that's going backwards. So stretch it all the way up, and then you can swap around and do the other side. Like I said, it's not a timed workout, this one, so just take note of the exercises and then put it into your own routine once you've watched it. The next one we're going to be doing is quads. There's two ways you can do this. You can do it if you're okay to stand up, then you can just stretch it from a standing position. Like I said, it is good to use a chair when you're pregnant, just because your whole centre of gravity is a little bit more out than what it usually is. Otherwise, another way to do that is just lying on your side. So, on the chair, so lying on your side, leg back, and just pulling it back behind you. Seeing if you can do a bit of a pelvic tilt and shift that hip forward, and getting a really good stretch down the front of that leg. Just making sure that your whole body is in alignment. Next one we're going to do is some back stretching. So we just want to do what we call as a dance. Cross over your legs, just to get into, we want to get into the back. So that's the dance. So start with your hands, palms facing each other. One arm goes up and over, while the other one goes down and around. And you want to put a real nice stretch on it. Nice stretch on it. Crossing the legs over just gives you a bit of a stretch down into that hip. If you're feeling a bit unstable in that position, then that's fine, just to keep your legs just nice. And just stretching it through, really opening up those shoulders, trying to get it in that movement into the back as well. Okay, next one we're going to do is just stretch through this chest area here, which gets quite tight as your whole centre of gravity shifts forward. You tend to find that you can stoop a bit. So a good stretch with this is just a wall. So if you come up to a doorway, put your palm against it and then stretch away. So I'm getting a really nice good stretch through there. So stretching it through. Most of your stretches hold until you feel like you've stretched that muscle out. But depends, generally a good 15-20 seconds. But if you're feeling that you want to be in this stretch a bit longer, then just hold the stretch out a little bit longer. Okay, and then you'd obviously turn around and flip around and do it on the other side. I can go across to here, you can go across to the other side of the door frame or wherever you're stretching it on the wall. The next one we're going to do is we're going to do shoulders and a bit of neck as well. So a really good one is if you can get your arms around, so just fingers touching behind if you can, or as much as you can. Otherwise, if that's really uncomfortable, remember if you do have any shoulder problems or anything and these movements feel a bit not quite right to get into, do make sure that you seek help from a professional trainer or at least someone who's specialised in pregnancy and exercise and pregnancy, I should say. Stretch it over the other side, or like I said, around the back, just stretching it through, just to make sure that you're stretching through these shoulder joints. Another one you can do, crossing it over, so one arm, elbows over, cross it over, and then turning side on. I'm just going to push it up and then come down. And what you'll find is this is a really good stretch up through all these shoulders when you tend to find that you're carrying a fair bit of stress around that neck area. And then bring it down. And then swap over, put the other one the other way, and then push down again. Really nice through the neck, top of the shoulders and through that neck area. Another one to do through this area is sitting on a chair. And when you're sitting on your chair, you're grabbing one side of the chair, and from here, you're just gently putting your hand over top of your head and gently pulling down through that neck area. Remember, whenever you're dealing with stretching the neck area, you want to be doing it really gently, nothing full on, just very, very lightly stretching it out. Excellent. Okay, so that covers most of the areas that you'll find that will get quite tight during pregnancy, so make sure you have those stretches as part of a good exercise program. Next thing we're going to look at is strength exercises. So some of the strength, we'll just move our chair out of the way, some of the strength exercises that you'll find for areas that get quite weak, you'll get quite weak through the glutes and through the hamstrings. So a couple of exercises. Now the first one I'm going to do is a bridge. Please remember that you can only do bridges for the first part of your pregnancy. Once the weight, so second and third trimester, the reason is because we're lying on our back, and you don't want to be lying on your back, definitely during second or third trimesters, because the weight will be too heavy and you've got main blood supply going through that area. But definitely for first, so we're doing bridges, so just coming up and down, up and down. If you're going to hold it for a little bit at the top and then come back, it's coming up. So that's bridges, and that will work hamstrings and glutes. Then you want to come over. Another good exercise to do is clams. So just supporting our head, and then from here, bending our legs up, and what you're going to do is come through. Knees right up, sorry. And then from here. So just really working through glutes at the back, so your bottom muscles, coming up and down. And obviously once you've done this side, then do the other side. Squeezing it through. Okay, next one. So the next one we're going to do is working through hamstrings and glutes as well. You can do this with a bit of a weight. I'm just going to do it with no weight. So they're called deadlifts. What you're going to do is pretend you're picking something up off the ground, and you're going to squeeze bottoms and you're going to squeeze hamstrings when you come up. Make sure you keep your eyes up, chest back, come down, squeeze through, down, squeeze through. Remember, as the weight gathers at the front, just be really mindful once again of your centre of gravity, that you don't sort of go to fall over. Make sure you've got really good core strength and you're holding it nice and strong. Down, squeeze through, down, squeeze through. Head up, shoulders back, squeezing through all this area here. And make sure that you have got core strength, so you really, if you are getting any back pain, please remember to stop straight away and seek professional assistance with it. Okay, next one we're going to do is back. We really want to be making sure that we're pulling, keeping up this strength. Like I said before, we stretched out chest muscles because this area tends to get quite tight with coming forward. We want to make sure that we strengthen through the back area. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. One, you can get a set of resistant bands. If you've got a set of resistant bands, you can then just do some rows. So from here, you're stretching back into those back muscles, really pulling those shoulders down and back to strengthen them and try and put them back in position. So that's one way you could do it. The other way you could do it, you can do it with resistant bands as well, is some bent over rows. Once again, centre of gravity is a little bit different, so just be mindful that you're not feeling like you're going to fall forward with these. So bent over rows, and you're pulling it back. Once you get into third trimester, you might find that your stomach might be a little bit big and feel a bit awkward. You might not be able to get bent over as far as you want to. Or you might find that lunge position is a little bit off. Sometimes ladies have problems with hips, and lunge positions later in pregnancy isn't a great position to be in, so you might be better off just doing the rows. But the bent over rows, like I showed you before, is another option. Just make sure you're not squeezing through your neck muscles, you're squeezing through your lower shoulder blades and pulling them right back. Okay, so that's back. So make sure you do some rows. Next one is just the next one is just basic posture checks. Because everything does, it's really important to get up in the morning in the mirror and just make sure that you're doing a good pelvic tilt. You're making sure that you're really holding in your tummy muscles, shoulders are down and back, and your head's not too far forward. You're also popping that back as well. And then from that, just get a really good idea in the mirror of how you're actually standing. Work out which muscles aren't quite switched on and try and put them into a switch on position, and then remind yourself at certain points during the day, or if you pass a shop window or a bathroom mirror, just do another posture check and just work at putting those muscles back and your body position back to where it should be. Otherwise, pelvic floors, there's heaps. The simplest pelvic floors is when you're brushing your teeth to pull up your pelvic floors. So really brace tummy muscles, pull from the inside, squeeze up. So when you're brushing your teeth, some really good times to do pelvic floor exercises is when you're brushing your teeth or when you're stopping at traffic lights. If you've got something else that happens regularly during your day where you're in a stopped position, then include your pelvic floors into that area as well. Last thing to strengthen during pregnancy and post-pregnancy, postnatally as well, is your intercostals. So we want to really make sure, because everything expands, so bub comes up, ribs go out, everything expands. We want to make sure that we're keeping really good muscle strength in between our rib cages. Best way to do this is really good breathing exercises. So what you want to do is just, you can get up in the morning, breathe up and breathe down. What that's going to do is keep intercostals working. Once again, if you get a chance, you can also put this into the same routine as your pelvic floors. Brush your teeth, finish brushing your teeth, do your deep breathing exercises, stopping at traffic lights, do a couple of pelvic floors, do a couple of deep breaths in the car, keep those ribs moving in and out, and stay healthy. Remember, it's really good to seek guidance with your exercise programs. Once again, what I've done today is just skirt around some of the stretching exercises and some strengthening exercises that are really good to include in your program. So make sure you've got them in your program. Like I said, stay fit, stay healthy, and have a great pregnancy. For more information, go to swiftfitness.com.au or like us on Facebook, and I'll catch you next time.